from the News Channel 5 Network. This is Score Connect.
Hi, and welcome to Score Connect. I'm Anavia McLean, your host. SCORE is a national organization with regional chapters of volunteers that mentor entrepreneurs and small business owners. We're excited to expand our connectivity services to you through News Channel 5 Plus with SCORE Connect. We'll be interviewing local community leaders in business to bring you resources, tips, and all of the connections that you would need to help grow your business. Today we're excited to have with us Dr. Jeffrey Cohu with Lipscomb University. Thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we're excited to do is partner with Lipscomb University on many of our events and workshops and symposiums that SCORE hosts throughout the year in person. And we thank Lipscomb for that support and participation.
Absolutely. We love working with SCORE.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we wanted to talk to you about today is the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center, which you are the executive director of.
Yes, at Lipscomb we are trying to build a kind of a comprehensive university-wide ecosystem, if you will, on our campus for all of our students and other related parties. To encourage them to, one, to kind of create a culture that is built around an entrepreneurial mindset, but two, to launch some businesses and help our young entrepreneurs get started with their businesses, take their ideas to the next level. And so that's a lot of what we do. We are essentially a student incubator and accelerator kind of combined into one. We have a lot of mentors in our network that can help and assist that. We also have academic programming for students that actually want to study entrepreneurship, but most of our work is co-curricular and is designed towards the incubation and acceleration process.
Yeah. So you mentioned something in there about the entrepreneurial mindset, which is something that both the SCORE Connect television show as well as our SCORE Connect podcast are really focusing on, because I think that there's a difference in the mindset when you're in college, when you're going to go out and maybe get a job somewhere versus go out and start a business. Right. And I've been a guest speaker at one of your in one of your classes around marketing and the mindset of entrepreneurship. How is the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center really cultivating that mindset? So,
a lot of what universities have done is that, particularly in colleges of business, they focus a lot on kind of the existing corporate infrastructure. But even large corporations today are looking to hire people who have an entrepreneurial mindset, which in simple terms, academically has always been defined as the ability to sense and act and mobilize under uncertain conditions. So we've lived through...
It's kind of a daunting explanation. Yeah.
But we've really lived through some of the most uncertain conditions of my lifetime in the last 2 or 3 years. And so with the pandemic and obviously other things that have occurred. So there's a real need for that, even in existing businesses, but certainly we've known forever that that's what you have to be able to do if you're an entrepreneur. You have to be able to step up and roll, be resilient and pivot and change when need to, and be very experimental in how you approach your business.
And you were mentioning about the entrepreneurial mindset within being hired for other organizations, and SCORE helps entrepreneurs and small business owners, but I think that even that mindset of what you're saying, like being able to see things from above, thinking about a business as an owner is a valuable skill set, regardless if you own your own business or you're working for someone else. Because as an owner, I love it when my team comes to me and says, hey, I've been thinking about this, and what if we did that and saved costs and gave new opportunities? Like, that's amazing.
In corporate life, they call that engagement. We want high employee engagement, but really that's what it is people who act as if they're owners, that they have, the well-being of the business, in mind. And so a lot of what you look for, obviously in great employees, is the people who look at the business like they own it and are constantly looking for ways to improve, ways to innovate, ways to make the business model more successful, because we live in very volatile times. Things change really quick, and so you need people that are constantly thinking about the business model, constantly critiquing it, thinking about what can we do differently and why, you know, and so that's definitely something everybody's looking for.
Yeah. So are there specific programs or workshops or courses that the center is putting forth to help develop this mindset? There's got to be a formula to this, right?
We do focus a lot on design thinking. We focus a lot on lean methodology, you know, kind of the idea that you're constantly iterating and experimenting, and so we try to teach those concepts very, very early and often, and then we certainly try to practice that with our student entrepreneurs. We try to, you know, as we mentor and coach them, you know, try to get them to think through, where's your business going? What are the, you know, potential roadblocks? Where is this going to, you know, where are the challenges going to come as you scale and grow? Obviously, you know, sometimes the business works really well at one side, but when you start scaling, the degree of complexity changes dramatically, and so
you find problems you didn't know you had.
Exactly. It's an exponential increase in complexity, and so, you know, it's not just 1 + 1, and you realize very quickly that the model is going to have to change and things are going to have to be more adaptive. So we try to teach those principles as much as possible.
Yeah. So you've been doing this for quite a while now.
Long time.
Long time. Yeah. What are some of these success stories or examples that you could share with us about maybe some of the students that have gone through this program? How does it play out in real life?
So, you know, we have some dynamic young entrepreneurs at Lipscomb. Aiden Miller, Quazera Coffee, if you're ever down near Rocketown, he has a coffee shop there. But Aiden is, you know, is an interesting story because when he came here, he opened a portable or mobile espresso business. He's one of the highest rated baristas in the world.
That's what I need, is espresso right to me.
And so the business model was built on engagement with corporations here in town, and it was going like gangbusters his freshman year, and then boom, the pandemic hit, and so your business is completely shut off. So he pivoted to selling bagged coffee, and it's also a social enterprise as well. So some of the profits, and particularly the bagged coffee business, went back to Rwanda to help people where he came from with issues in the pandemic. But in the process, he then went to a brick and mortar operation. Since then, he's gone backwards in his supply chain, now has a coffee farm, and right now as I'm speaking, they've broken ground on an eco-lodge back in Rwanda. So this business of a rising senior at Lipscomb spans from a coffee farm with macadamia nuts and coffee honey and other things at that farm, and an eco-lodge for tourism. Spans all the way back here to Nashville with the brick and mortar operation at Rocketown, and now the mobile espresso business being back in place. So multiple revenue streams, and he's just had to pivot while going to school and doing all that kind of stuff.
And talk about an entrepreneurial mindset.
Absolutely.
Right? So like you said, I have an idea and I got that going, and then a pandemic hit, unprecedented, what am I going to do? And you have to pivot to something else. And then in that pivot, found additional revenue streams and opportunities that might not have even been on the table in the beginning if he hadn't gone through that hardship.
And now, integrating blockchains to the point where, at some point we're going to hand you a cup of coffee and you're going to be able to, scan that cup and literally see every stage of the coffee process back to the farm is pretty innovative,
it's pretty cool.
Creative stuff.
Yeah. We were just at the mall the other night, and we saw the Bitcoin station for currency exchange. It's coming. It's coming.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. So that's somebody who you said is a rising senior right now. Is still a student.
One of our current students
at Belmont.
We've got him at Lipscomb.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
And he's competed nationally in several big pitch competitions. He won our internal pitch competition a couple years ago. We have two young ladies who just started a business not even a year ago in the granola business that is doing really well here in Middle Tennessee. They won the EO Nashville pitch competition this year.
The entrepreneur organization.
Yes, right. So they're doing really well, and we're trying to grow and scale that business. We have a recent alumni. You and I were talking off air about Healing Innovations. Luke Benda and Brendan Davidson, two alumni co-founders who, that company has gone through 2 or 3 rounds of financing. They basically have a really sophisticated piece of technology that works with people who've suffered neurological injuries, either strokes or car accidents, things like that, to help them walk again. The machine's called Rise and Walk. And it's now, they've gone through all the FDA approval. It's been, this has been going on for 4 years now, but they're really going to market now. And so it's one of Nashville's better success stories, and they're certainly a product of Lipscomb and our culture, I think. So we've got some good examples, but we'd like to have more. We're trying to build a pipeline, and that's really kind of what I'm here to do. So
that's amazing. I'm excited to hear more about this and some of the other organizations that you support after the break, and we will be right back.